Hello, my name is Elijah Walls, and today's review is the James Gunn 2021 movie, The Suicide Squad, taking place on an unspecified amount of time after the 2016 David Ayer movie called The Suicide Squad, which is going to confuse some people that don't know of DCEU. Taking place, like I said, the Suicide Squad have to go to a fictional Central American country to destroy the evidence of Starro, and also team up to overthrow a corrupt and a totalitarian government as well. So there's of course two priorities for Suicide Squad: overthrow the government and destroy a US-funded science experiment which they just dumped in Central America. I can say this with a great deal of confidence that this is definitely the better of the two Suicide Squad movies. With the first one, which was released back 5 years ago, apologies, which I'm not remembering not too fondly now. And if it's comparing to with that film, and of course Birds of Prey, which came out a year ago, this is the best film out of the Harley Quinn trilogy. Yeah, and yes, that's what I want to call it now. But anyways, I feel like the tone's a little bit more evened out compared to the two films. The action is way more violent, more comically graphic, almost on the same vein of like Shaun of the Dead from Edgar Wright, which is balancing the gore and the comedianism in the fighting scenes as well. And I thought the soundtrack was pretty good, including having a Johnny Cash song literally in the opening scene of the film. And of course, the movie does go out of its own way to troll your expectations. Like, Taika Waititi promised a big role, promised a big role in the press, but he's in like 2 scenes in the film, which I don't want to spoil it for you, but here we are. And there's a great host of characters, which like half of them get wiped out within like the first 10 or so minutes after one of their missions got botched by accident, even though they do feature prominently in the featurettes and the trailers for the movie, which is just James Gunn's way of saying, I'm just trolling you now. One of the things I also liked about the movie is exploring America's very complicated relationship with Latin America, particularly with the Peacemaker, who comes and goes and so-called saves South America, no matter what means unnecessary, even resorting to graphic violence, which is I kind of see as an allegory of how America dealt with South America with, I think it was Operation Condor, which is basically turned South America into a military dictatorship and just excuse it for peace. But I think one of the kind of bit of a striking criticism I have is the characters that get killed off. I feel like I've not gained any knowledge about them, like before they got killed off. Like, I don't feel like really that attached to the characters before they're like killed off. Even though there are some characters here and there that do have a prominent role, particularly in the previous Suicide Squad that came out 5 years ago, but for the other newer ones, particularly the Javelin one, played by Fiora Blurg, I just hoped he had a really big, prominent, massive role in the movie. Particularly, I just like his stuff when he collaborated with Conan O'Brien, particularly his videos in Conan in Germany. But he, again, spoiler alert, he gets kills off within 10 minutes. So I just wish there was just more of these characters that had not even been in the previous movie, just to really make it there. There's, of course, Bloodsport, portrayed by Idris Elba, and there's Peacemaker, portrayed by John Cena. Even though they did both constantly fall out at each other, or get each other at each other's throats throughout the entirety of the film, I feel like they have like brilliant chemistry, even though they did point out one scene they are practically the same character. Even though the Peacemaker is basically a really douchey Captain America who wants to achieve peace no matter how violent he'll get. And there's Bloodsport by Idris Elba, who we'll just say has a same character but has a lot of issues, particularly how the prison officers are going to treat her daughter after stealing her watch. And there's of course there's Harley Quinn, who is just brilliant as usual. She was brilliant in Suicide Squad, the original, brilliant in Birds of Prey, and probably at her prime at this movie. And then Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. You know, he says like only a few words. He's really good, even though he's like, hand, me not got no friends. And there's a guy who throws polka dots, like, even though when they come in contact with anything, they'll either melt or disintegrate any contact, like metal, people, like, it gets a little bit messy. And also, what triggers it is think about his mother. He needs to think about his mother because we'll just say Full Metal Alchemist spoiler, so yeah, there's that. All in all, I think I can safely put hands down that this is the better of the best of the Harley Quinn trilogy. Like, I think this is like DC's answer to the Wolverine films. Like, they start off rough and badly, but progressively they critically get more and more enjoyable. They get way more better. I feel like the action is brilliant. The plot line is great. The action is amazing. The character development is of the characters that survive is brilliant. The acting is great. And although I actually really enjoyed this movie, I am feeling an 8 out of 10 for this one. And let me know what you think in the comments. And also like this video, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And this is Elijah Wells, and bye.